Every morning when we do morning thoughts, don't you hear me say Miss Ruby say, which is my grandmother, say, be good. But if you can't be good, be careful, right? And then Mas Cleve, my grandfather, say, I will see you tomorrow if God spare me life. Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Shout out to the people who tune in every morning for our Morning Thoughts show. This will be your video for today. We won't do a Morning Thoughts live today. We have some business to take care of, but we will be here on Thursday and Friday for our finish out of the week. Anyway, boy, them say trouble not set like rain. Not true? Alright. This is an update video to the situation with dancehall artist Squash. Squash arrest details have been revealed. And boy, let me tell you, there's a lot here to unpack. God go with him, you know. God go with him because me can't go, but I don't wish bad for anybody. So I'm that kind of person. You know what I'm saying? Let the law do what the law is supposed to do, and you do what you're supposed to do. Here are Squash arrest details. My question is, where is Squash? Let me say this before we get started. We did a search, again, an updated search of the Miami jail where Squash was arrested and placed, and they verified he was there. When we did the updated search, it said that bond was paid and he was no longer in custody. We then subsequently did a search of the immigration database and we found no one there by his name and other informations that we put in. This morning, doing this video, we went back and did another search before we did the video to make sure you have proper updated information. We did a search of the immigration system again and found no one there by his name and other descriptions we put in. Where is Squash? It seemed like Squash got released on his own reconnaissance. Andre Maurice Whitaker, on February 24th, was arrested 2025 in Miami, Florida, and he was charged with possession of a firearm and carrying a concealed weapon without a permit. Details of the report says that Squash was stopped at 10:58 p.m. at night. That Monday night, Squash was stopped in the 100th block of 41st Street in Miami Beach for a traffic violation. This is going to get really interesting. Listen, y'all. It seems like Squash them was dealing with a hot person. You know, sometime when people, for those of you who are not street savvy, you know, sometimes we hear your brethren them say, yo, me now go around John because John them hot right now. Well, this was one of those cases. It seems like they were dealing with a hot person. Someone who the FBI has an open surveillance and investigation going on about. They just walked right into the front of the FBI cameras. Squash was not the main person under FBI surveillance, but this is someone that he is associated with, so he finds himself in the middle of the FBI investigation. They were riding in a gray Mercedes-Benz, and a 24-year-old individual, now identified as Zidon George Prescott. Zidon George Prescott was the person who was seen to be driving the Mercedes-Benz. Now, we don't know if Zidon was also on the FBI's surveillance, but keep riding with the story. So Zidon was driving with a suspended license, and because they were already under investigation, they ran the file, knew that the license was suspended. So under surveillance, once they saw him driving, they gave the go-ahead. This is the FBI calling the local police to give them the go-ahead to go ahead and pull over that car. Me not lie, no. Some people really love play loose ball with them life, because if you know that you are moving dirty, that you are riding out with multiple guns, and you're out late at night hours when police is super active in Miami, why are you driving with a suspended license? But it gets even deeper than that though. Remember, I said they are under surveillance. They just walked into a FBI surveillance investigation. That means agents are now following them, stalking them, ducking down in cars, posted in secret locations, using binoculars, scoping them from a distance, observing their every move. All right then. Let's continue. So they get pulled over on a traffic violation because Zidane driver's license is suspended. Remember, it's the FBI agents that called the local police and said, go get that car. The driver that's driving it has a suspended license. They just had a interaction with a individual who is under FBI watch. This is the local police working hand in hand with FBI agents. This is the exactly kind of sting that you do not want to be the subject of by any means. Now, according to the detectives, the Mercedes-Benz was signaled to pull over. 24-year-old Prescott was driving, just like the FBI agent said, and Squash was in the front passenger seat at the time. Boy, the police said as they approached the car, Squash was seen reaching into his waistband and placing a black object that looks like a gun into the glove box of the dashboard. Again, according to the detectives, they then asked Prescott, do you have any weapons in the car? And Prescott said, no, officer, we have no weapons in here. They then asked Prescott, do you consent to a search? You mind if we search the vehicle? And Prescott consented to a search. The detective said as soon as he consented to the search, they went straight for the glove box in the dashboard where they observed Squash in the passenger seat stashing something from his waistband while they were being pulled over, and voila, a gun was found. Now remember, the driver just told them that there was no guns in the car and that yes, you can search the car. At least that's what the police said. I really don't believe that, because why would you consent to a search if you knew that there were multiple guns in your car and you just told the police ain't no guns in the car, and the police asked, okay then, so you mind if we search, which is something that they typically do, and you went ahead and says yes? You had every right to go ahead and says, actually, officer, I do not consent to a search. Right. I just told you we have no guns. I do not consent to a search. Then, if they find guns in there, it could be fought in court and be an illegal search. But since you already said yes, which some people do say yes, thinking that's going to throw the police off. Reverse psychology. Thinking the police is going to say, they don't have no guns in there, because if they did, they would have never said, okay, go ahead and search. All right. That's for them to work out in court. I am sure when he goes to court that he will say, I did not consent to a search, and the police is lying on me, saying I consented. It was an illegal search. This we will have to see. But as for Squash, the gun that they found in the glove compartment where they observed him stashing it is a Glock 19 with an Invisi-Switch plate, a modification that allows the semi-automatic weapon to fire as a fully automatic weapon. race out a clip, or what we call a chip Glock. They removed the gun, the chip Glock, from the glove box, and then they searched Squash to find a holster on his waist that fits that Glock perfectly. They continued to search the car and they found another gun. This time, a Glock 40 with an extended magazine under the seat where Squash was sitting, under the passenger seat where Squash was sitting. The detective says that the gun was not secured or locked away, and that it was placed in a way where it was easily accessible, at quick reach, and immediate and ready for immediate action. That means one round chambered up already, off safety if there's any safety, quick reach, ready to go. The detectives also said they also found 3 loaded magazines. One in the driver's side door, one in the center console, and one in the trunk of the car. At this point, both men were arrested and charged. The detective says that Squash does not have legal status in the United States of America, and he already has an open case before the immigration courts on a separate incident where he is awaiting for his case to be called forward. According to the reports, Squash was seen by an FBI agent. This is where they walked into the FBI agent's investigation, because them a deal with somebody we hot already. So according to this report, Squash does not have legal rights to be in the United States of America, and he is already before the immigration courts, basically waiting for his case to be called forward. And according to the reports, Squash was seen by a FBI agent being handed that same chipped Glock pistol that they observed him remove from his waistband and place into the glove box while they were being pulled over. If you don't know, if you're under those kind of surveillance, remember I said earlier, they're watching you with binoculars from afar, they're zooming in, they're zeroing in, they're looking at you from different angles where you don't even see them, secret locations, etc. And them kind of surveillance the FBI agents go on with, right? So they're pulled over and they're looking inside of your car while they are doing so, all your moves are being studied. They also say that the Glock pistol they observed Squash taking from, the Glock pistol is the Glock pistol they observed him taking from another person. That person who handed him the Glock pistol was the person that they have under FBI surveillance and investigation. Squash is not the target of the FBI investigation. He's just dealing with some hot people who FBI already on. The FBI saw the exchange, him handed the gun, him taking the gun, and then the FBI called the local police and told the local police to go after the car. They already zeroed into the car, zoomed in, saw who was driving, ran his file, and knew that he had a suspended license. So they told the local police, go pull over that gray Mercedes-Benz. And this is how they went after Squash and Prescott. As of right now, like we said in the last video, we checked the local jails in Miami where he was listed to be in custody, and it showed on their site that bond was posted and that he was no longer in that facility. However, we did say that this could mean a few things. It could mean that he got let go and he is free on his own reconnaissance, or it could mean that he was picked up by ICE and he was in transition to another facility after checking out of that first facility, the jail. So Maybe he was on his way to a ICE immigration holding facility somewhere like Chrome Detention Center, so that he would not be registered into the detention center or the immigration database as of yet, because he was not at the facility yet at the time we did the search, right? Right. At this moment now, today, as of March 5th, 2025, days later, this update, we're all asking, where is Squash? I saw a video that was posted a few days ago with Squash and a few other men in it. But social media can be such a tricky place. Someone can post an old video and you would think that person is still somewhere on vacation, or that person is somewhere where they're not, because they posted a video that was taken from a while back. So the video I saw looks like Squash is free and happy, but I don't know if that is just the old video that was being posted. So as of now, again, we have no proof that he is out completely. Only thing we do know for sure is that he is not in custody at the Miami jail, because bond was met, bail was paid there, I believe to the tune of $2,500. And as things are now, his next court date is set for March 26th at 9:15 a.m. So 9:15 a.m. March 26th. I know a lot of people are going to say this. At that court date, ICE will be waiting to pick him up and take him to a detention center. I know a lot of people are going to say that. Or they're going to say stuff like, if him get where, that means that him I work with agents too, right? Or whatever the hell they want to say or may say. We not fluffing the story. We just bring you the facts, okay? And this is what is out there so far. Now, with his case already before the immigration courts, this could be a case where they decide to not approve him to be in the U.S. Or this could be a case where he goes to the immigration courts and makes his case that he is that much scared and paranoid for his life. Remember, when you file for asylum, right, you file for asylum under certain guise and headlines like, I'm gay, and if I go back to my country, they're going to kill me. I had to run for my life to get away from there. They chopped me, they stabbed me, they beat me, and I barely got away. Please don't send me back. People like those, especially if they have scars to prove it, they end up getting their asylum approved. You can also be one of those who said, gang violence is heavy where I come from. They murdered my brother. They killed my this. They killed my that. I've lost many family members. They're after me. And recently, I realized that some of those same people have moved here to this part of Florida where I'm at. But because I have a court case open with immigration courts, I don't want to run away and leave Florida and then miss my date for my case to be called up. So even here, my enemies are here because the Jamaican community is big. He could go to court and with a good lawyer and say something like that, if explaining why he is riding around with a weapon. But I don't know how am I going to explain the chipped Glock part, because a chipped Glock is not legal. If it was a regular gun, then okay. But the gun was modified to be a fully automatic gun. So saying you're scared for your life and that's why you carry that, okay. But where did you get a chipped Glock? So this has many heads. And the only thing we can do is observe from the outside. And then we will eventually bring you the full story once more comes about. Remember, his next court date is March 26th at 9:15 a.m. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you there. And I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Walk good. Peace.